Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun. I'm having a great time. When we came through the door a while ago to enter the building, it's been a little while since I've been in here. When I looked up and I saw those two banners, it was hard to keep tears from coming in my eyes because, I was here 11 years and, we had a lot of wonderful times, 2 national championships, and there's a lot of special people here today that I need to thank for that. But first of all, my first thought when I came in the door, and I said to George as we were walking in, I said, man, when I was here coaching, I'd have loved to have this many people at one of my ball games. But first of all, I want to thank Dr. Smith for hiring me. You hadn't aged a bit. 34 years ago, he hired me when I came out of the University of Tennessee. I was just turned 23 graduates. Okay, your average age is older than I was when I came here. My first year here at Francis Marion, I had a player that was older than I was. So, and then also, coaches are only as successful as their team and their players. And right over there hangs on the wall, it says Francis Marion University, and it's number 12, and it says Pearl. And Pearl Moore is here. Pearl, stand up. I see you over there, girl. Stand up. And then a while ago out in the lobby, someone said, man, look at that big girl. I said, yeah. I said, she was one of my players at North Carolina, and Francis Marion has just hired her as an assistant coach. Big T, stand up. She's right there. Big T graduated from North Carolina, 4 years ago? 4 years ago, that's what I thought. And then when I came here about you guys' age, a few years ago, Tim and Jimmy that were here escorting me, they were students. They were student body, involved in the student body and student government. And so it's really special for me, for those guys to escort me. But also, I remember out here in the Commons area one day, Larry Bartol came up to me, and I think Larry's been on the board before here. Larry, stand up, buddy. Right there you are. Now, Larry came up to me and he said, Coach, he said, I've got a friend that I'd like for you to meet. I think you'd have a lot in common, and I'd like to introduce you. And on June the 16th, my husband and I will have been married 30 years, and that's the one that Larry introduced me to. Sammy, stand up. Right there he is. So I've got a lot of great things to thank the people here at Francis Marion for. And, as I sit up here, I can't stop smiling. I'm just having a blast. I really am. And I was thinking about times here whenever my team played and all. And I can remember one day the bench was right over here where Sammy and Dr. Smith and all were sitting. And one of my players, came over and she was not hustling up and down the floor. And if you know my teams, every year we're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country in scoring, so we really get up and down the court. And she came over, and I was fussing at her and all because she just wasn't playing hard. And she said, Coach, I'm hurt, and I'm looking at her and thinking, where are you hurt? I couldn't see anything, I didn't know if it was her shoulder or arm or leg or whatever. I said, where did you get hurt? And she ran right over there on the court and pointed right here. So instead of telling me where she got hurt, she went to the place on the floor when I said, well, where did you get hurt? And she went right over there and pointed to a little place on the floor. So needless to say, she might have needed an extra semester to graduate. So, but I have a lot of wonderful memories here. I would not be where I am right now at the University of North Carolina if it wasn't for Francis Marion and all these wonderful people here. But now I'm going to tell you this. I worked really hard, and I prepared a very academic graduation speech. And then a couple nights ago, Sammy and I were out eating, and I was telling him about it and everything. And, he said to me, I said, I really feel like this is a little too formal for me. And, he said, well, Sylvia, how many graduation speeches do you remember? And I looked at him, I said, well, I can't think of one really, and I've been to a lot of graduations. So I've got a really good academic speech here, and it's called Passion Energizes Your Talent. And I know a speech has to be published, so I'm going to give this to Dr. Carter, and then I'm going to talk to you like I was getting my team ready for a national championship game, okay? Is that a good deal? Okay, now, it's really plain and simple, all right? If you want to be successful. All right, and I'm going to talk to you about how to be a champion all the time, all right, at anything you do, not just as a coach. You guys are getting ready to go out in a very tough world right now, all right, and I want to give you some little hints and some things that can help you. These are things that helped me win those 2 banners when I was here at Francis Marion. How to be a champion all the time at anything that you do. All right, it takes teamwork. I mean, we're in the Smith Center. This is where the basketball games are played. It takes teamwork no matter what you do. All right, whether it's a home, a church, a school, a company, you got to have that spirit of oneness. All right, you got to be together. You got to be working together, and it's very simple. Success is about relationships. Now, think about that a minute. Success is about relationships. Now, how do you develop those relationships? There's a few keys. They're very simple. It's not rocket science, but I'm going to go over those with you real quickly here. I have a lot of information, but I'm not going to give it all to you because I'm going to go through here really quick because I know you guys want your degrees and you want to go have lunch and visit with your families. So, but I'm going to read these off to you, and I'm going to snap here and give you some information, so hang on to your seats. Put your seat belts on if you need to, but hang on here. First thing is, and I know you hear about this all the time, but this is the foundation of everything. As you go out in this big world, your attitude determines everything. It is your foundation. And let me tell you, with my team, we have shirts that we wear. I have some shirts here underneath, and I'm going to give those away in a few minutes. And on the back of one of those shirts, it says, your altitude is determined by your attitude. Now, in other words, how high you go is determined by your attitude. You know, another one says winning is an attitude, all right? Winning is an attitude. And the other one says it all starts with the right attitude. So as you go out in the big world, just make sure that you've always got the right attitude. You know, my philosophy is I let no one and nothing control my day. Only my Maker and myself can control my day. I give no one else that privilege, okay? Because remember, he or she that angers you controls you. No one else controls my day. Only my Maker and me can do that. So always have the right attitude. Also, as you go out in the big world, remember this. This is something that there's not a lot of these days, and it needs to be more, and that's loyalty. Loyalty to your employer, employee, and vice versa, because loyalty creates harmony in the household. It creates harmony. It creates that spirit of oneness. So be loyal to people. I believe that you get what you want by helping other people get what they want. You help other people do what they want to do, and then all of a sudden it comes back to you 10 times. So go out and be loyal to people. And don't forget the people that helped you get where you are, okay? Just like I would not be at the University of North Carolina and all the things that are happening in my life right now if it wasn't for these people at Francis Marion. Dr. Smith giving me the opportunity, Pearl being my first All-American here. You know, all those great things that happened to me. All right, the next thing is, if you're going to be a champion at everything you do, you have to be a disciplined person. Now, how disciplined are you? How disciplined are you? Discipline is delayed gratification. Discipline, I tell my players this all the time, discipline is something you do for a person, not to a person. All right? So discipline yourself in your life. Discipline builds pride and commitment. So make sure that you're a self-disciplined person as far as, you know, your habits, your work ethic, and everything that you do. So be a disciplined person. Number 4 is commitment to work hard. Hey, a lot of people, they want the jobs and the salaries now and the titles and all that, but they don't want to work hard. Let me tell you what. You've got to work hard. We have shirts that we wear. My team, we change our shirts about every 3 weeks. Now, we do wash our shirts after practices, but after a few weeks, we change them out. One of our shirts says, "We work harder and smarter." We work harder and smarter. Another shirt. This was the last one that we had this season. And this was a shirt we were wearing in the NCAA tournament. And it said on the back, "If it is to be, it's up to me."